Welcome, this is Big Ben in Hong Kong, and you're listening to Meet the Entertainers on the Big Ben Show. So, I'm on the plane back from Singapore, and the two idiots sitting next to me having an argument the whole time. Nah, 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 nah. God, what a nightmare. Till on a plane, last time I sit next to my kids. So, if you live in Hong Kong, we have helpers. That's right. No matter how rich or poor your family is, you will still manage to hire someone, probably from the Philippines or from Indonesia, to be a maid and look after your kids and tidy your house. Wow, how lucky are we? But, of course, helpers do have holidays, and mine is on holiday this week, so I have no free time, and my kids... well, they're at home the whole time. 4 a.m. Daddy, wake up! What is it? I can't remember. If I feel like killing them. 2 hours later, she wakes me up again to say she's sorry. She's woken me up. And then her big sister wakes up and starts complaining that it's her turn to wake me up. And I realise that my daughters have devised a game where they're gonna take turns to wake me up. Huh? I'm the winner. It's my turn to wake Daddy up. Little kids, you know, they're so competitive, and it's totally ridiculous. I mean, you don't need to be competitive when you're 3 years old. Aside, if you're in Hong Kong, your parents will be competitive for you. I tell you that the parents here, wow, they give their kids so much homework. So much. So anyway, they're my kids, right? About, 5 a.m. this morning, screaming, I'm the winner. And I realise I've got to assert my position as the boss of the family, as the alpha male. So this is what I come up with. Eh? You're all winners. Only I make this Freudian slip, and what comes out is, you're all whiners. To which each one pipes up, No, I'm the whiner. Oh, Christ. So, anyway, I am a children's entertainer, and I do the school shows, the Christmas events, and of course, birthday parties, or as they're known in the trade, riots, hour-long periods of severe social unrest, mass hysteria. Basically, if you want an adult to look after up to 100 screaming, hyperactive, violent, anti-social, mentally incapacitated 4-year-olds on a sugar rush, then I'm your man. Basically, when I was 16, I looked at every possible career and said, I'm going to limit myself to just this. This is what I want to do with my life. So I was doing a show at the weekend in a squash court. And what I hadn't realised, or what you may not realise, is squash courts are so loud. And if you've got 3 busloads of mentally wild 4-year-olds screaming at the top of their voices for over an hour, you actually go a little bit deaf by the end of the show. God. So I tell you, after a while, after doing this for about 20 years, it is a relief to do something sensible, like stand-up comedy. And I will be telling you a bit about some of my stand-up comedy work. Big shout out to Jim Brewski, friend of mine who's just won here in Hong Kong the Magners International Comedy Festival. So check out Jim Brewski. Oh, party entertainers, eh? Well, you know, as a party entertainer, you're not allowed to get angry. Yeah. So the other show, they'd hidden my shoes. So I was going, where have you hidden my shoes? I really need to go home now. Can you tell me where my shoes are? And the little boy's like, hee, we're not telling you, Mr. Smelly Socks, always Mr. Smelly Socks, woo! And this great joke that the kids have invented goes on for about 30 minutes. And eventually, the parent comes over and says, hey, great show, Big Ben, yeah. Thanks for staying the extra half hour for free. I especially loved the bit at the end where you made the kids hide your shoes and you found them in the closet. Yeah, great. Oh boy. Well, it's tough for me because my office is at home, where my kids are, and as I said, my helper is on holiday. Bless her, she deserves it. So she's on holiday this week, so I am at home with the kids, and the phone will ring. It's a client. Yes, this is Big Ben. A birthday party for your son on the 30th at 4. Shut up! Will you shut up? No! Shut up! I'm gonna smack you! No! Oh, sorry. I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to my kids. So I haven't had much free time this week, is what I'm trying to say. I'm going to give a mini podcast this week. I was talking to Andy Comic, and we're talking about some of the worst gigs ever. And we talk about some of the really tricky birthday parties, especially when you've been booked for a birthday party and you turn up and there are no kids at all. And talking about stand-up comedy, I do a bit of stand-up comedy sometimes, and I've got a funny story about the dangers of doing stand-up comedy when you're completely unprepared and in a really, really tough venue. Now, as per usual, all the names and the links and the websites mentioned in this mini podcast will be listed in the description to this episode, and old episodes of this podcast can be found at my website, www.thebigbenshow.com. And and Andy Comic, of course, despite his horror story he tells us here, he's a fantastic children's entertainer, and you can check him out at www.birthdays.hk. Alright, let's go and listen to these horror stories.
So I do this. The client is called Kiki, and she's very great. And I've done her party for like 6 years now. Her daughter's party, who's quite around 10 now. And the last party I did, they had Donnie Young there, who's the Ip Man. Very famous. Yeah.
Famous movie star.
So I met him, and I've got a photo and everything. It was cool. But anyway, someone rang up Ravi. They're like, I got a kids party.
Yeah.
And I want a performer, good performer. And Ravi said, well, you can have Andy Comic.
Yeah.
He does, he's very popular in Hong Kong kids parties, and he dropped a name. Oh, he does Kiki's party every year.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got to have him.
Yeah.
So yeah, great. And this girl was, super rich, and I rock up to the party, and it's like super, super high end at the, what's that party next to the ferry? What's the hotel next to the ferry called? It's right up the end. Four Seasons.
Yeah, Four Seasons. Yeah.
Four Seasons ballroom. Pretty much 99% adults.
Yes.
And I'm booked for this kids party. Going, I kill kids parties. I'm gonna kill at this. I'm like, dude, this is like a corporate party, man.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with me. And I'm there, and Jackie Chan's there.
Yeah.
He's like right in the front table, and there's most of the people here are in showbiz.
Yeah.
And they're all like high end, they're producers and stuff. What I do is stand at kids party and have volunteers and stuff come up, and and it just was like, this is just going to be just the worst,
Yeah.
So there was around 3 kids there, And I'm
so
just
it's like my one at the Ritz-Carlton.
Yeah,
worse.
yeah, exactly.
Even worse.
And whenever I do like the Kiki party, it's just a group of kids in a room, usually at a house in Bowen Road, and it's great, and for that kind of environment, I really kill that. But for this one, where kids party would normally warm up the audience and get the kids talking and laughing and do some silly gags. This one, you couldn't do any of that.
No, exactly.
Completely disarmed from all of this. So I tried to get these kids, the ones that were there, coming a bit closer. And I started my routine, and I've got, and then I tried to get a volunteer for some, and no one wanted to come up. And then this guy stuck on stage going, blah, 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 blah. And then, this is just the worst party that I've ever done. I just wanted to get out of there. And then the client complained to Ravi, and Ravi's like, well, he thought it was a kid's party. No one wanted to come up and volunteer. And she's like, oh, people thought he wasn't very good, so they wouldn't want to volunteer in his show. And I understand that, being a crappy
wrong
show.
situation, yeah.
But it was just totally the wrong show.
Yeah.
And the same thing happened with me. I think it might have been at the same hotel.
Yeah.
For an agent, got a kids party coming up, but it turned out to be a 100-day party. Yeah, which is what they do.
Yeah,
in Hong
but
Kong.
yes, 100 days old.
100 days old, they have a big party because
Yeah.
normally the kid's dead by then in the old times, yeah.
Yes, yes. They made it for 100 days to celebrate. They're still
Thank God
alive.
for that.
The baby's still alive.
So the only kid was there was this fucking baby, yeah?
Yeah.
That was it. And I rocked up and I'm like, dude, you know, I do kids shows, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, we want you to do, you just go up and do a show, it's going to be fun. Look, they want you to do like magic. And I'm like, you know, I do a little bit of magic, but I do
Yeah.
mainly juggling. No juggling. I'm like, I just didn't want to have a bar of it. But at that time I was super busy.
Yeah.
And I just said, look, you know what, don't worry about it, I'll go home.
Yeah.
I don't want this job. This
Yeah.
is just going to be bad on stage. I
Yeah.
can tell. There's no kids here.
Yeah.
It's just a terrible job.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the guy's freaking out. No, you can't go home. And then he gets his chopsticks. And he's like, I'm going to show you a magic trick with his chopsticks.
Oh no.
And I'm like, what the hell are you talking? You know, like, yeah, you do this and you flick the chopsticks like this and they can't break it or some crap. And I'm just like, dude, I'm not going to do this stupid trick on stage. And the guy's like, you got to do magic. I'm like, I'm going to do my show or I'll go home. You know, I understand you totally booked the wrong thing for this.
Yeah.
You want a corporate show, yeah?
Mm.
I do kids shows. I want a group of kids sitting in front of me.
Yeah.
You've got no kids at all except this baby. And it's an adult show and you wanted to get, you know, it's just crazy, yeah. I don't know.
I remember actually how I started at the Ritz-Carlton. I didn't just start off low-key. I thought I want to be attractive wallpaper as well so they do know there's something happening. So what I did at the very, very beginning, just to get their attention without disturbing them, so I played the music quite quietly, but started inflating my giant balloon. So while they're eating and discussing business at their round tables, they could see this giant balloon inflating. So, that's interesting, yeah. And I put it on I didn't want to do the whole balloon routine yet, because I could save that for later. So I just put a balloon on my head, so my head's inside it, and just walked around the whole of it. Just, hello, how's it going? Hey, woo! And they were like clapping, yeah, it's fun. And I wandered back to the stage, took the balloon off, and then I went into low-key mode. They'd seen that there was something happening. Hopefully they'd seen that there was something quite spectacular. So, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. But then there were like 15 kids, and they were there. So they went into low-key mode, and then I started just improvising to the music just quite quietly. Until there was a moment after about 30, 40 minutes when everybody was watching. That's the way it went.
Yeah,
but it's so hard. You've got to be really flexible.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And I've got lazy, and I wasn't expecting to be put in a situation where it was more cabaret kind of show.
I like the way that you say no. I am someone who doesn't like saying no. I always like to. I often give it a try, even when I know it will totally suck. And when I was younger, I think I kind of got away with it, just on personality. I knew that it was the wrong environment for the show. The audience knew it was the wrong environment for the show. But my likability at that point in my career was nothing. I like watching this guy have a try at it.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I have often bitten off more than I can chew. The one at the TV company, I shouldn't have done that if I'd known what I was getting in for. Because if I'd done that like 5 years later, I could have got a part in a big situation comedy in Singapore, and that'd been great fun. And there was another one where I'd done stand-up comedy in Hong Kong for like 2 weeks, and someone wanted a comedy show in Macau. Should have said no, but I only just arrived in Hong Kong, so I thought this was an opportunity.
They want stand-up, yeah?
Yeah, so I thought that I could do my Big Ben comedy show, the variety show that I talked about earlier, with the giant balloon, the mini Elvis. But at the last moment they said, no, it's just stand-up comedy. And I should have said no, that was a very embarrassing 20 minutes on stage.
And who was the audience? They speak English?
They were like, I mean, again, if I'd done it like now, I might have got some good context. They were like the bosses of the casinos, the big guys.
Yeah, right.
At their golf club for their annual get-together.
But whoever booked you, didn't they watch your show first on a video or something?
Well, I was so brand new. The guy who booked me had booked me for I sent out my email to all the event companies I could find in the Yellow Pages in Hong Kong. And one guy, and I gave them a cheap price for the first show, and one guy had booked me to do a community show for 1,500 up in the New Territories, and it had gone really well, and he loved it. And he said, and the next week he called me and said, "Oh, I got a show in Macau. It's do you want to do it? I went, yeah, I got a corporate show for adults. It's called the Big Ben Comedy Show. Oh yeah, comedy show, great, yeah. and then he sent me an email just before the day. He said, no, by the way, they all want you mini Elvis and your giant balloon. They want stand-up comedy. And I was like, oh, I've done it. So I've been doing it for the last 3 weeks at this comedy club, which has just opened up. And it's gone really well. You know, I've got like 9 minutes of material, and it's gone really well in that comedy club. But I was not ready. I was so, even now I find it really hard to go in cold into a brightly lit room, which is not a comedy club, where the audience is not warmed up to do a comedy set. Stand-up comedy, not easy. Not easy if you're really good at it.
The MC doesn't warm them up as well.
There was no MC.
Yeah, right.
There was no MC. It was just the guy at the table saying, "Okay, up you go. It's your turn now. You got to do your bit." So,
I mean, that anyone would struggle, even as proper stand-up.
Yeah, you would. But now I have certain. Now I wouldn't even try and do jokes. I just do sort of. I wouldn't tell my actual jokes. I do just. In the moment stuff, I might do MC warm up routines, like getting everyone clapping. That could be most of my set, just getting them building up until they are warm enough to do something slightly, tell a slightly funny joke, or my best possible joke might get a small laugh. But it was hard. Bad. I should have said no. But then again, you never know. If I said no, I would have always wondered what would have happened. At least now I know. And sometimes you learn more from the bad shows than you do from the good ones. Okay, so that's me. Next week I'll hopefully be talking to an amazing entertainer, Kieran Love, or one of the oldest and longest running entertainers here in Hong Kong, Mr. Mike Abbott. Do check me out at www.thebigbenshow.com. And talk to you again soon. Take care and goodbye.